Welcome back, everybody. On the last video I posted, I did the cold air intakes on my Infiniti G37. Update on those, they're working fantastic. There's no issues, no flaking on these cones. They look to be pretty stout. No issues at all with that. Had no code since the install and the ECU relearn. Painted things up a little bit, touched up the logos on the engine cover, painted a little red there. It's flaking a little bit, but I painted the battery tray and the brake tray. Just a little boring stuff. Looks pretty good though. Have to retouch up those lettering spots and maybe put some clear on them so they don't flake. But the other thing I mentioned in that video was that I was going to be doing some exhaust upgrades. I mentioned possibility of doing a cat back, and looking into it, I decided not to do the full cat back without getting the high flow cats first. So I think that's the direction I'm going to go. But idle hands and the devil, I went ahead and ordered an Axel Back kit. I looked around, and thank you to everybody on YouTube that posted videos of their exhaust sounds after their upgrades. I saw some from Manzo and Tanabe, Arc. They all sound good, but the ones I settled on were HKS. They sounded deeper, and it seemed to me anyway they had more burble, and that's probably because of these massive exhaust inlets you're about to see, or I should say outlets, that you're about to see on the back side of the car. So let's go around here and take a look at those. I installed them yesterday on the ground in the rain, and it wasn't that bad. It took about 30 minutes. Simple tools, 12mm, some extensions, a screwdriver, and those are the HKS exhausts right there. So those tips are so damn big. Not exactly my style, but it's a little form over function, I guess. They stick down pretty far underneath the car, very obvious. You can see the HKS logo is etched into the stainless there. We'll see how these hold up as far as any type of tarnish or anything, but underneath the car, they just go back to the mating point with the factory exhaust that I still have on there. And there's a little band clamp down there. Very, thank you, Texas. I got this car in Texas back in February, and of course they don't use salt, so every single bolt under here came off super easy. Didn't even have to use any lubricant or anything. When I installed them, there's two rubber hangers besides that clamp, one on the side and one back here towards me, where you can see the hanger right there. It's welded to the exhaust. Where that goes into the rubber grommet, it's actually on a bracket, and I was looking at it, instead of trying to fiddle and fight that hanger out of the rubber, I decided to just take the bracket off. There's two 12mm nuts up. You'll need a deep well 12, and it's a couple of extensions, but that's definitely the way to go, because I was able to get those off as one piece, take them off the old exhaust, and then just put them on and bolt them back onto the car. Definitely the way to go with that. The car's still warm from driving home from work, so it's not going to be a true cold start, but I'm going to go ahead and give it some beans and put the camera down, let you guys hear how it sounds. yeah, so that's how it sounds. Really good. I should have mentioned, and I'll probably put up some chyrons or something, that good speakers are recommended when you listen to this video to get the true depth of the bass coming out of the exhaust. It sounds totally different than listening to it on your phone. Sounds really good. It had good burble on it, and not a lot of rasp. Drone was minimal. It's there. I mean, it's a wide, fat exhaust. It's kind of droning a little bit, but it was not anything your stereo couldn't overcome when you're driving. So it sounded pretty good in that respect. A couple other things I did is basic tune-up, and I did the plugs on them, which required removing the throttle bodies to get to the back two on each bank. So that was a good opportunity to really scrub down the throttle bodies and the inside of the intake itself. Those cleaned up pretty good. After the plug change, it felt so much better. I don't know if those were original plugs. I doubt they were original, but they were certainly very high mileage. I checked the gap on them after I took them out. They'd expanded a bit, and they weren't in range anymore. So really felt seat of the pants wise like it picked up upwards of 50 horsepower. It just ran so much better. So it's running really good right now. A couple other things I did. Interior wise, I swapped out all of the interior lights for LEDs, white LEDs. It matches the dash backlighting much better than those incandescents that were in there from the factory. And I got those silly little door lights that shine the Infinity logo on the ground. I throw a picture of those up at the end of this video. Those are cool. Those silly little things when you don't have time for big projects and you just want to do something to the car. 20-30 bucks of lights and a little bit of effort, and they changed the car up a little bit, so at night it looks a lot better. So next step will be working on getting the high flow cats, and once that's done, I am going to start looking into a tune. If anybody is paying attention to this, appreciate it, and has a G with mods. Yep. Somebody showing off sounds better than mine, right? Anyway, who has a G with mods and has done either the uprev or the ECU Tech tune, let me know how those are going, because I'll probably end up doing that. And of course, that's pretty much the end of the upgrade path with any VQ motor, unless you're going to go forced induction, which, I don't know, it's a monster. I don't need to fight. I don't even know if you can do forced induction because these things, without tearing the engine down, because what I understand, these things have well over 11-to-1 compression from their NA side, and I don't think that leaves a lot of room to put any air in without blowing something up. But that's just my take on it. Rambling a little bit, so I'm going to close out. Thanks for watching this, and leave comments, like, subscribe, and I will keep posting as I do more work. Thanks.